Hey everybody, it's RC bringing you my game picks for E3 2017 here on GGRC. Now, I was a little hesitant to include this game, Metroid Prime 4, in my list of trailers and games that are my picks for 2017 here, and part of that is because this is just a really tiny, like 40-second teaser trailer just showing the logo. Doesn't show any gameplay, and it doesn't really get me all that excited. Don't get me wrong, I am really excited that they're doing a new Metroid Prime, but this doesn't really show me anything, and we don't really know anything about it besides the fact that it's the fourth game in the series, as long as you don't count Federation Force, right? But I was really hesitant to even include this because we don't know anything about it. So I figured, because I do like Metroid, I am always excited by a new Metroid announcement, that I would at least include it and maybe talk about some of the things that I would like to see in the fourth game. Now, I played through Metroid Prime 1, the very first game, enjoyed it, thought it was a very innovative and amazing way to interpret the Metroid series in a new first-person adventure. I thought that was really clever and really well done. Metroid Prime 2 I felt was a pretty hard game, and I might have played maybe a quarter of it, and didn't get all the way through that one, and I ended up skipping the third one altogether. But we're at a point now where if a Metroid Prime 4 is coming out, it's been almost 10 years. In August, I believe, in August it will be 10 years since Metroid Prime 3 actually came out. That is a long-ass time. So I think that for me, the brain has reset. The feelings for Metroid Prime have reset. I feel like I'm ready for a new one. Something else that's interesting to note here is that Retro Studios is not going to be the company actually developing the game. They developed 1 through 3, and they did the newer Donkey Kong Returns series that was out on the Wii and the Wii U. And they have been working on something, but they haven't quite announced it. Not sure what it's going to be, but it's definitely not Metroid Prime because they're not working on it. So I'm really interested to see what the new studio that's working on it, I'm sorry I don't have that in front of me at the moment, what their interpretation of the series is going to be in a fourth one and where they're going to take it. So things that I am looking forward to with the Metroid Prime 4, obviously playing Metroid in first-person perspective again is going to be a lot of fun. But I'm really hoping that they're going to take it somewhere new. Obviously, it's got to stick with the whole Metroid Prime motif and everything. You know, they're probably going to have a lot of scanning and that kind of thing. But I would be okay if they didn't have any of the scanning back in this. I would like them to primarily focus on the action of the game. Like I said, I feel like with, at least with 1, because I played it all the way through, the scanning got to be a bit tiresome after a while. The core of the game was mostly in the actual action and boss fighting and enemy fighting in that game, and that was a lot of fun. Moving on to 2, I feel like 2 was a little bit too steep of a difficulty jump. I would like it if they kept it challenging, but not as difficult as 2 was. I'm sure some of you watching that, listening to this right now, are kind of like, come on, 2 wasn't that hard, but if I return to it, maybe I'd do better. I really don't know. Maybe I'd do even worse. But I remember at the time it was a pretty difficult game. In 3, I didn't even bother playing because by that point I was kind of overplaying it. Having not played through all of 2, I felt like I'm not going to get much out of this. But what I did find out about 3 though is that I had a friend who played through it, and since it was called Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, the whole idea was that she was bouncing back and forth between like a corrupted world and a normal world. So it's obvious that throughout the trilogy they were really trying to come up with new ideas to push Samus. I almost said push Sandwich. Push Samus in all these new different areas, and kind of take her out of her comfort zone and do something new with the series. So I like that they were always trying to innovate it, But 4 needs to come through and do new things. I want to see new weapons. I want to see new progression. I want to see maybe new suits. I want to see new enemies. I'm kind of tired of them using Kraid and Ripley, throughout every single game. It's like, come on, let's move on. Let's use some other characters, huh? I mean, you could have Ripley be in it, but don't make him be the main boss of the game again. Like, let's move on from that. You know, so let's be innovative here. Let's do something new, and let's make it look beautiful. I think we really can. Now that we have the Switch where it's at, the other interesting thing to note with this game is that this will be the first official Metroid Prime game in the series here to be portable. Of course, we're not talking about Federation Force here. We're not counting that because it's not in the main series. Sort of a spin-off. Well, not sort of. It's a total spin-off. But 4 is going to be completely portable, and it's going to be a full-fledged Metroid adventure. Now, the important thing to note here, too, is that just because the first 3 Prime games were 3D and they were in first-person perspective doesn't necessarily mean that this one could not be 2D. It would be really nice if this one bounced back and forth between first-person and 2D. I know that the first game did that a little bit when you were, rolling the ball through certain areas and you could see it from a 2D perspective, but it would be really cool if they did that sort of thing here, where they literally like had you go through an area that was like completely done in 2D, where you could see Samus and everything and you're jumping, and it would be really cool if they went back and forth like that. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys right here. I just kind of wanted to just go off and talk about how I felt Metroid Prime 4, what direction it should really go in here. Really would like some new stuff from the series here, because I think it innovating again, because that's what Metroid Prime originally did when it came out. It was very innovative and fun, and I actually really dig the music from that game. The sounds of the music were, just awesome. I remember booting up Metroid Prime the first time and getting that sort of like, almost like, I don't know, trip-hop version of the theme, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm really hoping that this new one will be innovative in that way, so that way, even if it is first person, you play it and just go, whoa, okay, now this doesn't feel like Metroid, but it kind of does. I really hope it goes that direction. Like I said, new weapons, new enemies, new ways to traverse, maybe a back and forth from first person to 2D type of situation there. I think that would be really cool. So there you go, everybody. Those are my thoughts on Metroid Prime 4 for now, and I'll see you all next time. Be sure to stay tuned to my channel for more E3 2017 coverage. Click the playlist on screen to see more right now.